Hi everyone, this is Anna from Koala Soap. I'm going to be doing a dry run of some cupcake soaps, and I'm planning to do some for my daughter's graduation. She's graduating from elementary school. Yes, I'm going to celebrate that. On another note, I wanted to make a real quick, let a lot of you know that have been DMing me on Instagram about how Chewbacca was. He hasn't had any new seizures. Unfortunately, he got hit by a car. He's doing okay. I think he's a cat, has 9 lives, so we'll be doing staples removal in about a week. You might see him hobbling around behind me. It's just because I have to keep a close eye on him. So let's start on our cupcakes. Okay, so I've melted down the goat's milk, and I'm gonna add birthday cake by Crafter's Choice. I love this scent. It's pretty awesome. It has a lot of vanilla in it though, so it will turn a little brown, but this is for the bottom of the cupcake, so I'm actually okay with that because it's supposed to look like a cake anyway. But what I am going to add in a little bit of is this canary color. So we'll go ahead and add a little bit of this. This is from Brambleberry. This is one of their lab colors that you have to kind of mix. It's very concentrated. And then you refrigerate it. So we'll just add a little bit of that. So I'm okay with it being yellow to start, and then that way it won't turn brown, but the birthday cake will turn this a little bit brown. So I'm gonna offset a little bit with the yellow, but if it turns brown, I'm actually fine with it. Now I'm gonna be using these silicone molds. I got this off of Amazon. And what I was originally gonna do, and I tested, was I was gonna put it in this. That way it kind of held its shape, but I kind of forgot that these aren't paper, so they're not really going to fall over. They can still misshape though. So it's a good idea, if you have one, to put these little silicone cupcakes into a muffin or a cupcake holder, okay? So we're going to go ahead, and if I have too much of this for just these two, that's fine, because what I'm going to end up doing anyway is doing the frosting next. So we will go ahead, you guys can see this, and we're going to pour this in. Right now this is about 100, it was 175 when last I checked, now it's 150, so that's fine. If I didn't make enough, I will simply melt some more. Okay. Actually, it looks like I just lucked out and just made enough. So we'll go ahead and let these set, and then we'll go ahead and we'll get started on our frosting. Okay, so while we're letting the cupcakes sit and harden, I'm going to go ahead and get our frosting ready. So I have some more goat's milk soap, and we'll go ahead and get it melted. Okay, so my melt and pour is done, and I'm going to go ahead and add in a little bit of this aqua. I'm still using the birthday cake scent, so I'm going to make this a little dark, just so that when it turns a little brown, you won't really notice it, because I'm using a dark colored aqua lab color from Brambleberry. Okay, so I've added in my fragrance, and I've added in, this is very concentrated, so this is just basically was a little dropper full. We're going to go ahead and mix it. This is like the best mixer ever. It came with these, and it all fits into here, but this is what I use for making a frosting. I want this frosting to look like waves. This is the idea. So you can get these cute little guys from the Oriental Trading Company. I guess they sell them by the dozen. They have different themes. They have a graduation, I think. They have just all kinds of little duckies in different shapes that you can use for your soaps. I would make a rubber duck soap, but I think it would just make it really too heavy. So now that these have set, okay, we're going to go ahead and make our frosting. I will turn the sound down so you don't really have to hear it. We're going to start on the lowest setting, and then we're just going to let it keep going. And once it gets to about, I think it's like 110 or 120, it's going to start to fluffen up. So even though this is like maybe a quarter full, you'll see that it gets a lot higher. and then we're just going to spoon it onto the cupcakes. Okay? So what I'm looking for is trace. I really don't have any trace yet, just out of curiosity. It's at 129, so it should start happening fairly quickly now. Okay, we're starting to get a little bit of trace. So this is a Crafter's Choice. We're at 118. So about 118 on Crafter's Choice. And you can see how much fuller it is. It's almost completely 2 cups. Now because I'm using the ducks, I kind of just need this to look like the ocean. I don't need it to be a pretty swirl or anything. And as you can see, there we go. That looks like it's going to be about it right there. So what I'm going to do is, here's our cupcakes. And I'm going to want to score them a little bit. You can do it with either a knife, or I'm using this little skewer that I got from the grocery store. And then you're going to want to spray them with alcohol. Okay, so it's set up on me a little bit again. So it looks like it's going to be about the 120. So let's see how this looks. So I basically just want to scoop it on. We can clean it up later. And we can add some little waves to it a little bit later. When you remelt this, which is what I had to do, see, I'm going to make it look like really kind of rough here because they're supposed to be in the water. When you remelt this, you can't, don't put it in for, when we say 10-second blast, we mean it, because what ends up happening is it's just so airy that it really melts down really fast. So I'm going to do this one separately, but you can see, so I'm just kind of hitting it like this. I just kind of want it to look rough and airy like it's water. And I can clean it up in a little bit, but I just kind of really want it to look airy. Now, I'm going to stick that duck right there. And then you can add more around it, but you know, because down underneath this, it still has a lot more. Although I think I'm going to want to use something smaller than this spoon. So, and then once it starts to set up, you can go ahead and just kind of hit it, and then it'll kind of look more like a wave and stuff like that. So I'm going to do this one separately, and then we'll show you the finished product. Okay, so what I did was I remelted it a little bit. I have a little spoon here, and on this other one, I'm just spooning it in a little bit. Then I'll spray it with alcohol again. I will set my ducky on it, my other ducky. This sets really quick. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just kind of spoon it, and it's going to fall off the edge, guys. But you can clean this up. So this is why we do a dry run of these things before doing the final products. This I'm just going to give to my daughter when she gets home from soccer. It does smell great though. And you can see how fast it's setting. I just kind of want a layer there to keep the duck in. The duck will come out fairly quickly after you get into the bath, but that's fine. So what I'm doing is I'm setting it in there so it stays. And I'm just using a tiny little spoon, this little plastic spoon. And then what I'm going to do is, once this sets a little bit more, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of ridge it a little bit. And I'll show you how I do that in a second. Okay, I finished one duck. It needs to be cleaned up. When we take this off, we'll do it. But I have an idea. So what we did was we went ahead and set this one in the mold. what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this set, and then I'm going to make little shavings like this. And you don't have to do anything. All you have to do is basically, like in the spoon here, just peel it off a little bit and like roll it so it just kind of looks like waves, or it just looks like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little bit of this, and then we're going to try something new on the other duck. Okay, so we finished our first duck, and we'll unmold him in a little bit. But I kind of thought of something, a different way of doing this. So we basically set this duck in here just like I showed you. And then what I did was I let this harden. I kind of scooped it out like ice cream to get these shavings that you see. Just random. So what I'm going to do, let me see how hot this is because I really just don't want to melt my base. Chewbacca is up, as you guys can see. He's kind of wandering around here. He's walking pretty good though. I'm pretty happy about that. Squirting my duck with alcohol. And then what I'm going to do, I've reheated this, and I'm just going to start to kind of put it around. I'm going to have to do this in sections. And then I'm going to put these little shavings around it. And I'm going to do this around the whole duck. Hopefully my melt and pour doesn't start to set. My son is acting as a director right now, so he's telling me if the sound doesn't sound right. Oops. Okay, and I'm just going to go all the way around the duck and just use the melt and pour as glue, and then put these shavings on it. Okay, so our duck is done. I put it all around. I have a little bit of shavings left. I'll just go ahead and I'll put that into something else later. So I'm going to just let these set. And then we'll go ahead and I'm going to clean it up around, and I'll unmold them, and we'll see how they look. Okay, so it's time to do the unmolding. And what I've done is whenever you whip the soap, this will stay kind of rubbery feeling anyway. So I'm going to peel the silicone off and see how it came out. Very cute. Now this didn't go the way I thought it would, but it's actually doable. So let's take this mold off and see how it works. So it's actually cute. It smells great. And again, this was a dry run. So what I'll probably do for the graduation is I might actually use the melt, whip, and pour. I'm not quite sure yet. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to do it like this or not. I actually like the way this turned out. It's kind of something you don't see every day. I do have some shavings left, so we'll be doing something with that. But anyway, so there they are. I'm just going to let them set. They smell really good too. So feel free to go to our website at koalasoap.com and subscribe to the newsletter there, because I have a company that's actually sending me molds now to try out, and I will be sending molds out for free to some of our subscribers, probably on a monthly basis. So don't forget to go to koalasoap.com and subscribe to the newsletter, and don't forget to subscribe here if you like this video. Thanks a lot. Have a great day. Bye.